How do you deal with disrespect? Disrespect is something we all face, and it can be upsetting and frustrating. But what if we could handle it with strength, wisdom, and calm, just like the Stoics? Before we begin, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to Stoic Legacy, where we share daily Stoic wisdom to help you stay grounded, resilient, and focused in a chaotic world. Now, let's explore 10 timeless Stoic principles that will help you deal with disrespect, not with anger, but with power and purpose. Let's begin. First, keep your calm. One of the key teachings of Stoicism is that we are not disturbed by what happens to us, but by how we think about what happens. Epictetus said, "People are disturbed not by things, but by the view they take of them." This means that when we face disrespect, it's not the disrespect itself that affects us, but our interpretation of it. Disrespect is not a reflection of your worth or value. It's a result of the other person's thoughts and emotions, not yours. By reminding yourself of this, you can detach from the immediate emotional reaction and avoid impulsive responses. Stoicism teaches us that our inner peace is within our control, no matter the external situation. Instead of reacting with anger or frustration, take a moment to pause. Reflect on the situation calmly. Disrespect is external, and your emotional response is internal. When you keep your calm, you prevent the other person's actions from defining your mood or self-worth. By staying calm, you can approach the situation rationally, make thoughtful decisions, and uphold your Stoic values. This helps you maintain composure and clarity, even when faced with disrespect. In these moments, keep your calm. This is the Stoic path to emotional resilience and inner strength. Second, reflect on yourself. The second thing a Stoic would do if someone disrespected them is take a moment to reflect on themselves. Rather than immediately reacting, a Stoic turns inward. This doesn't mean accepting blame for everything or becoming passive. Instead, it's about stepping back and asking, what part did I play in this situation? Or, is there a lesson here for me? Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, once wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." So when someone offends or insults you, you must guard your thoughts carefully. Instead of rushing to feel hurt or angry, ask yourself, why does this bother me so much? Is it your ego reacting? Is it insecurity being exposed? Or perhaps there's some truth in the disrespect that stings. A Stoic uses such moments as a mirror, not to judge themselves harshly, but to understand themselves better. This kind of self-reflection isn't about weakness, it's about strength. Because to pause, examine your emotions, and respond with clarity instead of chaos takes far more power than simply lashing out. Think of it like this: the world will throw many things at you: insults, judgments, misunderstandings. You can't control any of that, but you can always control the way you interpret those things. You can decide whether to let them dominate your mind, or whether to use them as fuel for your own growth. A true Stoic doesn't just want to win arguments or defend their pride, they want to build character. And every moment of disrespect is a chance to do exactly that. So, before reacting, they reflect. Before speaking, they pause. They look within first, because the Stoic knows, self-awareness is the beginning of all wisdom. Third, they respond, not react. The third thing a Stoic would do if someone disrespected them is simple, yet incredibly powerful. They respond, they don't react. Most people go through life on autopilot, letting their emotions drive every decision. Someone says something rude, and they snap back. Someone rolls their eyes, and they explode. It's instinctive, it's reactive, and it almost always makes things worse. But the Stoic? The Stoic has trained themselves to pause. They understand that there is a moment, even if it's just a fraction of a second, between what happens to you and what you choose to do about it. And that moment is where your power lies. Epictetus, another great Stoic philosopher, once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When someone disrespects you, you have two options. You can lose control and let them drag you down, or you can maintain your composure and rise above it. A Stoic chooses the latter, not because they're weak, not because they're afraid, but because they understand that losing control gives the other person power. And no Stoic gives away their power that easily. So what does responding, not reacting, look like? It might mean calmly stating your boundaries instead of yelling. It might mean walking away instead of escalating things. It might even mean saying nothing at all, because sometimes silence is the loudest answer. Stoicism doesn't mean being emotionless. It means being emotionally disciplined. It means knowing that every response you give is a reflection of who you are, not who they are. By choosing to respond with intention, you reclaim your peace. You turn what could have been a conflict into a moment of clarity. You lead, rather than follow. And in doing so, you show the world, and yourself, that you're not easily shaken. So the next time someone disrespects you, remember this: reacting is easy, but responding? That's Stoic. Fourth, they practice indifference to insults. The fourth thing a Stoic would do if someone disrespected them is something most people find difficult, but it's a skill that can transform your life. They practice indifference to insults. To the average person, an insult feels like a direct attack. It stings, it lingers, it can ruin an entire day, or even a week. But to a Stoic, an insult is just words, nothing more. It only has the power you give it. Marcus Aurelius, the great Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been." That's the essence of Stoicism. You decide how much weight someone's words carry, and often, the best decision is to give them none. Think about it. When someone insults you, they're often revealing more about themselves than they are about you. Maybe they're angry, insecure, jealous, or projecting their own pain. Why take that personally? Why let their emotional chaos pull you into a storm? A Stoic observes the insult, understands where it's coming from, and then lets it go, like water off a duck's back. They don't need to defend their ego, because they're not ruled by it. They know their worth isn't defined by what others say, but by how they live. Epictetus said it best: "If evil be said of thee, and it be true, correct thyself. If it be a lie, laugh at it." That's the Stoic mindset. If there's truth in the criticism, improve. If not, ignore it. Simple, powerful. This doesn't mean becoming cold or detached. It means becoming unshakable. It means knowing that your peace is more valuable than someone else's opinion. And once you embrace that, no insult can touch you. Fifth, they focus on what they can control. If someone disrespects a Stoic, their final and most powerful response is this: they focus only on what they can control. You see, a Stoic understands a timeless truth, that most of life is outside our control. Other people's opinions, their actions, their words, their emotions, you don't control any of it. So why waste energy trying to? When someone disrespects you, your natural reaction might be to fight back, prove them wrong, get the last word, or ruminate over the insult. But all of that puts your peace into someone else's hands. And that's the very thing a Stoic refuses to do. Epictetus taught, "Some things are up to us and some are not." That's the core of Stoic resilience. You control your thoughts. You control your actions. You control your perspective. That's it, and that's enough. So when disrespected, a Stoic doesn't spiral into overthinking or emotional reactions. They pause, they breathe, and they ask, what part of this is mine to own? If there's something to improve, they do. If not, they let it go. This practice doesn't mean you become passive or weak. In fact, it makes you stronger. Because when your focus is always on your own behavior, your own values, your own growth, you become untouchable. You rise above the noise. You stop being reactive and start being intentional. A Stoic doesn't chase revenge. They chase virtue. They live with purpose, not ego. And when you do that, disrespect loses its grip on you. It becomes irrelevant. In the end, you can't stop people from being disrespectful, but you can stop yourself from being disturbed by it. That's the power of Stoicism. That's the strength of self-mastery. And that's how you live free. Sixth, embrace acceptance. One of the most powerful Stoic responses to disrespect is acceptance. Now, this doesn't mean passively letting others walk all over you, far from it. What it means is recognizing what's within your control and what's not. Epictetus once said, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." In other words, real strength lies not in fighting every external offense, but in mastering your internal response. Disrespect from others? That's not in your control. What is in your control is how you think, feel, and act. You have the power to maintain your peace, to choose calm over chaos, and to protect your inner world, no matter what happens in the outer one. Acceptance doesn't mean weakness. It means wisdom. It's the decision to not let someone else's ignorance shake your foundation. It's the refusal to trade your peace for their bad behavior. When you embrace this mindset, you start to rise above the noise. You stop wasting energy on trying to change what can't be changed. And instead, you focus on strengthening the one thing that matters most, yourself. Disrespect becomes just another test, not of your pride, but of your discipline, not of your ego, but of your philosophy. So the next time someone disrespects you, don't rush to defend your image. Don't fall into anger or frustration. Just take a deep breath and remember, their actions are theirs. Your reaction, that's your power. And no one gets to take that from you. That's what Stoic acceptance truly is. Unshakable strength that flows from within. 7th, use insults as fuel for growth. The Stoics believe that even the sharpest insult can become a tool for inner growth, if you let it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been." This isn't just philosophy, it's a challenge. When someone disrespects you, do you let it define you, or do you let it refine you? Imagine an insult as a mirror. It can reveal areas where you're insecure, reactive, or still tied to ego. If you're offended, why? Did they strike a nerve? Good. Now you know where to grow. Instead of defending yourself or striking back, pause and ask, is there any truth in what they said? If yes, thank them silently. They've helped you become more self-aware. If not, let it slide off you like rain on stone. Either way, you win. Seneca said, "A gem cannot be polished without friction." The same goes for your character. Friction, in the form of insults, criticism, or disrespect, is what sharpens your discipline and strengthens your inner clarity. This mindset turns every insult into a lesson, every slight into an opportunity, every jab into a spark for self-reflection. You become harder to shake, because you no longer see disrespect as a threat. You see it as a tool. So the next time someone tries to put you down, don't just stand there wounded. Use it, study it, grow from it. Let it remind you of where your work lies. Then move on, stronger, wiser, and unbothered. That's the Stoic path, where even insults become stepping stones toward your higher self. 8th, control what you can, accept what you can't. This is one of the most fundamental Stoic principles, and also one of the hardest to live by. But once you internalize it, it becomes a superpower. Epictetus said, "Some things are up to us and some things are not." Think about that. Your thoughts, your actions, your values, these are within your control. But everything else, the past, the behavior of others, the outcome of events, is not. Most people suffer because they're constantly trying to control the uncontrollable. They waste energy obsessing over how others see them, replaying past mistakes, or fearing what might happen in the future. But Stoicism teaches you to stop fighting reality. You can't change what already happened. You can't force people to behave how you want. You can't control every outcome, but you can control how you respond. That's where your power is. That's where peace lives. Picture your mind like a fortress. Outside of it, chaos, noise, other people's opinions. Inside, your judgment, your choices, your principles. When you protect your inner world and stop reacting to everything outside, you become unshakable. When something goes wrong, ask yourself, did I do my part? Did I act with reason, with discipline, with integrity? If yes, then let the chips fall where they may. If not, then learn from it, and move forward stronger. Acceptance isn't weakness, it's clarity. It means you're no longer wasting time on what you can't change. You're directing your energy where it actually matters. The Stoic doesn't resist reality, he aligns with it. He controls what he can and lets go of the rest. That's not giving up. That's true strength. Ninth, use everything as fuel. Life is unpredictable. You'll face setbacks, betrayal, loss, and failure. But to a Stoic, nothing is wasted. Every obstacle becomes an opportunity. Every hardship becomes fuel. Marcus Aurelius put it best: the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This isn't just a motivational quote, it's a way of life. It means you don't just endure hardship, you use it. Think about fire. The more you throw into it, the more it grows. That's how the Stoic sees adversity. Criticism, use it to reflect and improve. Failure, use it to gain wisdom. Pain, use it to grow stronger. Even injustice, use it to practice virtue and restraint. This mindset makes you unstoppable, because it means there's no scenario in life, no matter how bad, that can't serve your growth. You're no longer wishing for an easy path. You're becoming the person who can handle any path. Most people crumble under pressure, but the Stoic asks, how can I turn this into something useful? They don't waste time feeling sorry for themselves. They adapt, they endure, they transform. Got rejected? Good, now you have clarity. Lost money? Good, now you'll be smarter next time. Got betrayed? Good, now you see who's real. This isn't toxic positivity, it's mental alchemy. It's the ability to face reality head-on and say, this too will serve me. Pain is inevitable, but suffering, that's a choice. And the Stoic chooses to rise. So the next time life throws you into the fire, smile, because you're the kind of person who turns fire into fuel. 10th, change your perspective. Perspective is everything. The way you see the world shapes how you experience it. And when faced with disrespect or adversity, it's essential to remember that what matters most is how you choose to perceive the situation. Marcus Aurelius said, "Our life is what our thoughts make it." This means that your emotional state is determined by the lens through which you view the world. So, when disrespect hits, ask yourself, what am I making this mean? Am I letting it define my worth, or am I choosing to see it as an opportunity to practice inner strength? The Stoic perspective teaches that disrespect often says more about the other person than it does about you. Most of the time, people act out of their own insecurities, frustrations, or misunderstandings. Their behavior is not a reflection of your value. By changing how you view the disrespect, you can prevent it from affecting your peace. Look at it from a bigger picture. Will this moment of disrespect matter in a year? 5 years? In the grand scheme of your life, is it really worth losing your calm over? When you change your perspective, you regain control. You stop taking things personally. You stop reacting out of anger or hurt. Instead, you act out of wisdom and resilience. So, next time you face disrespect, shift your perspective. See the bigger picture, and remember that your peace is always in your hands. You decide how to respond. Thank you for watching. If you found these Stoic principles helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, share with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe to stay connected with Stoic Legacy. We upload new Stoic wisdom every day to help you grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Leave your thoughts or questions in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you apply these Stoic principles to your life. Stay Stoic,